Today I'm going to show you the best, easiest way to make sauerkraut. Normally in videos that you see people making sauerkraut, they have all of these fancy tools. They have little like airlocks for your jar, little bubbling things, pounders, and like sauerkraut feels like this whole endeavor. You have to buy things, you have to do things. It's gonna take you forever to make sauerkraut. My way is simple. It is easy and you need no special equipment. Hi, I'm Laura. This is Dylan. Welcome to my homestead kitchen. You can go from this fresh sauerkraut to this finished sauerkraut in only 3 days using my method. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. Oh, and I also want to talk to you today about just the benefits, the amazing benefits of sauerkraut and how sauerkraut is like a probiotic powerhouse. It is amazing for you. So we'll get into all of the great benefits that it has too as I show you how to make this. So you start with a jar. It can be a big jar. It can be a gallon jar. It can be a small pint jar. Whatever size jar you want to start with is fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is pretty much all you need. You also need cabbage. So any old cabbage will do. You can use a purple cabbage for a really vibrant color that has extra health benefits. But if all you have is green, green is great. You can use a green cabbage. So you're gonna turn that green cabbage, you're gonna shred it. So I used a food processor. I'll link that in the description. You can just cut it by hand with a knife. You can shred it any way you want. I use my food processor and that made this super fast. Dylan actually did it for me. Yeah, so shred your cabbage up. And then all you're gonna do is start by putting your cabbage in your jar. So we just take handfuls of it and put it in. Nice and easy, right? You could use a scoop if you want, like Dylan does. So the probiotics in sauerkraut, they aid in your digestion. They promote healthy balance of gut microbiome. So if you've heard anything about your gut microbiome, there's lots of stuff going on about it lately. Okay, Dylan, this is getting pretty full. Yeah, so you'll know that your gut microbiome has a direct connection to your brain. So if you struggle with things like anxiety, depression, things like that, your microbiome needs work. You need to help it. And sauerkraut is definitely an amazing way to help it. In just 1 tablespoon of your finished sauerkraut, there can be over 10 billion beneficial bacteria in there to help your gut. So like those little expensive pills you can buy, even the refrigerated ones that boast like 10 billion bacteria in each capsule. Yeah, it has nothing on sauerkraut, and sauerkraut is way cheaper. Like, I don't know what a cabbage costs, like $3, and you need some salt and water, like 5 minutes. You can even like recycle a jar. It's super cheap to make. So like literally, there's no excuse for having an unhealthy gut when there is such easy and cheap ways that you can help your gut thrive. So in this sauerkraut here, we're just gonna add a tablespoon of salt. If you had a smaller jar, you can add less. They say you can just salt to taste. It doesn't really matter how much salt you use. You just are doing it for taste mostly. Yeah, and then we're just gonna put some water in this jar. We're also gonna put, this is the secret to getting your sauerkraut ready in 3 days. You can use brine from your previous batch of sauerkraut that's done. That's a super good way. If you haven't made any sauerkraut yet, the next easiest way is to take some whey. So if you have any fermented dairy, like this, the whey that I have is from kefir, and the whey and the milk solids separate if it ferments for a while. So you can take this whey from your fermented dairy or other fermented products, There is a product you can buy if you don't have any fermented dairy, you don't have any sauerkraut. There's a product you can buy. I will link it in the description. That will like kickstart your sauerkraut and give it a jump start on the process here. So I'm just gonna add a 1/4 cup of the whey to this big jar. Then we're gonna use the back of this spoon and we're just gonna press it down. Now, a lot of people say you have to like pound sauerkraut to get all the juices to come out because it needs to be covered. Yeah, I don't bother with that. That is too much work. I don't have time for that. I need this, if I'm gonna do it, I need this to take like 5 minutes. So yeah, no pounding here for me. So you wanna make sure your jar doesn't get too full because when this starts to ferment, it's gonna bubble up. And if it's too full, it's gonna leak all over your counter. So we're just gonna keep adding in, pressing it down until we have it this full. So we're almost there. You will get quite a bit of sauerkraut from just one cabbage. It goes a long way. Okay, so I think that's all we're gonna add. So I'm gonna press this down again, and we're just gonna finish filling this with water. So we want the cabbage to be covered in water. But as you'll notice, the cabbage does float. Now people say you have to buy weights or weigh it down with something so that the cabbage doesn't float to the top because it can potentially mold. Now with our added whey or juice brine from the other sauerkraut I made, the chance of it molding is very slim. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these jars out on the counter for 3 days, and then we're gonna put it in the fridge. It's ready to eat in 3 days. So when it's out on the counter, all you're gonna do is go over to it once a day and give it a little stir so that whatever is floating, whatever cabbage is floating on the top, when you stir it, it's gonna go back in that brine and you will not get mold on this. It's not gonna mold, it's gonna be fine. Don't be scared. So yeah, every day for 3 days, just stir it once a day. It takes like 2 seconds to stir it. And then you can just leave it covered with this, just a normal lid. You just don't want it on tight. So I'm gonna leave it a little bit loose so any air can escape out of here, the gases from the fermenting. Yeah, that's all we're gonna do. So I made that in like, I don't know how long it took, 2 minutes while I was talking to you and filming. So it's super easy. You should definitely give it a try yourself. So I'm just gonna talk to you for another minute about sauerkraut and how amazing it is for you. So because it is such a natural probiotic, it can really help with your digestion. So if you're having problems with constipation, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, any of these like common issues that people have, sauerkraut can help with that because it's just amazing at aiding that. Also, the kids and me have all been sick for like 2 weeks. It's been awful. So sauerkraut is an amazing immune booster. I've been getting everyone to take sauerkraut at least once a day to try to help our immune system. The majority of your immune system is based out of your gut. If you didn't know that, fun fact for you. It's also very high in antioxidants, super high in vitamin C. When you ferment it, the vitamin C content goes way up. So that's amazing. Also amazing if you know anything about getting sick, vitamin C is, supposed to help you get better. So this is another way that this can help with that. It can also help in weight management. It's very high in fiber, which helps control your appetite, keeping you feeling full longer. Yeah, and a healthy gut microbiome also just helps with a healthy weight. It's also been shown to lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels. So if that's something you struggle with, consider giving this a try. All you need is like at least a tablespoon a day, which isn't much, isn't hard to do. My kids eat that. If they can do it, you can eat it. Yeah, it's very high in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, the natural form of folate, potassium, and magnesium. So lots of good vitamins and minerals are in sauerkraut. And all of these vitamins rise exponentially when you ferment something. Yeah, especially something like vitamin K, that really goes up when you ferment it. Yeah, so I think that's all I have to say about sauerkraut. I would love for you guys to give it a try it out. Like I said, it's very cheap, super fast, and the health benefits that you'll get from it are just through the roof. They're amazing. So I think anyone should try it out. And like, it's not like some big investment you have to make to try it. You can just do this with basic tools you have at home and just buy a cabbage from the grocery store. Super simple. I'll link a bunch of the stuff that they say. If you want to get really into it and you're like, I love making sauerkraut, I want to get this for making it, or get this for making it, I'll link stuff like the weights and the bubbler tops and stuff like that in the description if you're interested in getting any of those. But yeah, like, I don't use them, so you don't have to either. Yeah, so you can have finished sauerkraut in 3 days if you follow my method. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Like and hit subscribe.